That was so weird. I haven't been live on YouTube for a little bit, and it put me in a weird, funky visibility thing. All right, I'm going to go actually live on TikTok, and I'm going to go live on Instagram here. Trying something new out. Haven't given out my number in a long time. I had a company reach out to me, asked me to do it again. They had this program and stuff that they wanted to run with me, see if we could do this. I know that it helped a lot of people before in the past, so I felt like, you know what, screw it, let's try it and see if it does help people again. So I have actually went back to it. So it's 530-491-4734. It is a paid service though now. It's $4.99 a month, $4.99 a chat session for 18 plus only. Hopefully more people will talk about and want to talk about addiction and stuff. And it's very clear that I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm none of that. But I did actually was able to help some people. I actually helped one guy find a local therapist that dealt with trauma in his area by talking to some therapists I knew and stuff. So it has done some good already. And just a lot of people that are reaching out with the same stuff. What's up, Paula? How are you, sweetie? How you been? We're actually going to be in London. Um, when is it? We go this summer, 3 weeks. We're going to see Taylor Swift in the Olympics and stuff. How you been? All right, let's see how this goes. Started 75 hard today again. So today is day one of it. I've already done the gallon of water and all that good stuff. So we will see how this works out. But feels like it's been forever. Jeez. We're only in London, I think, for 3 days. We're taking our daughter on a trip to see. We're going to see Taylor Swift. We're going to see the Olympics. Going to Paris, Amsterdam, London, like a whole 3 week trip. It should be a lot of fun. Um, but that's our big summer trip vacation. She's a senior this year, so we're taking her to explore. But all right, I'm gonna go live on TikTok. I'm live on YouTube. I do the number thing again. We'll see how long this lasts for. This company has actually been really good to work with so far. I remember everybody. I remember everyone. Germany and Ireland. There we go. Thank you, babe. Thank you for the gifts, Maddie. So I do have a texting service that I've just released. This company is working with me. I used to give out my phone number every single day for people that needed support and help, resources. This company I talked to, it's for 18 plus. It is $4.99 session. If you want to just chat, it's a mentoring session. So I do have the text thing back up. It's 530-491-4735 is the number for that. It is an AI for the first couple questions, so I know what we're talking about, and then it alerts me that, hey, you've texted, and then I actually sit down and we'll chat with you. So we've made it easy now to talk because I don't go through my DMs a lot. Instagram's really taken off. YouTube's almost to 100,000, which is kind of cool. Hey, Casper, how are you? Um, and so I just wanted to make it something that people could reach out to. How to escape social anxiety? I wish I knew. Don't go outside. No, I'm just joking with you. Um, but it it's different for everybody. I mean, if you really struggle with social anxiety, get with a therapist. That is my suggestion. Is Molly chill? Molly can be chill. Molly can be a lot though too if you're not used to or not aware what Molly is. It can screw you up pretty bad. It's not necessarily is it addictive by any means. I don't know really anybody who's necessarily had a bad chat with it, but it is one of those things that you can do too much and you can really screw yourself up. Um, do you still get paid 50,000 a month in your new job? I don't get paid 50. That job was I was a general manager of RV dealership. So I used to actually get paid that year. I think I made a little over like 600,000. I saved your life. You saved your life. Hi. Now, believe it or not, I've actually worked with coke addicts. I do a one-on-one mentoring Zoom through my website, and I've worked with a lot of coke addicts now, and every coke addict I've worked with literally has made more money than me. I mean, I'm talking to guys that I've talked to one guy who made over $1 million with this company he owns, and is a mad hardcore coke addict. And people don't realize that. Like sometimes we have to expand our brain and realize how many people do it. Do I ever feel like doing blow again? Fuck no. What was sleep like when you were on it? I don't know. I passed out a lot. I really passed out a ton. My year has been mental. My mom passed 7 months ago being an alcoholic. I've been homeless and now in a hospital. Damn, Paula, that is a lot. My heart goes out to you, sweetie. Um, What you propose for me, social anxiety, get with a therapist on it. Again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm none of that. I've been through a lot of shit. All right. I'm a recovering coke addict, alcoholic. I'm diagnosed with general anxiety disorder, and what worked for me probably won't work for you. It doesn't work for everyone. It's a lot of trial and error to find out what works for you. So one of the big things is definitely get with a therapist on it. Again, my content is for those over the age of 18 because that's the best way that I'm able to actually help people and engage. You're 19, destroying your life, you need help. What's up, Russ? Stories inspiring. I appreciate that. Thanks. You're a good man too, Redhead. My mom found a bag the other day and drug testing you now. Blake, it's probably the best thing for you, dude. I mean, when I was using and I was in active addiction, I wanted so bad to get fucking a DUI. I wanted to get popped because I thought that that maybe would help me get sober because I couldn't get sober on my own. I kept relapsing and relapsing, and I would get sober for maybe 3 months, and then I would relapse, and then next thing you know, I would get to the point where I would lose my shit, man, and it was amazing what would end up happening when it came to my relapses. That the relapse went harder, faster, stronger each fucking time. Yeah, coke definitely. Um, reminds you, okay. Have you ever tried hunting? No. DUI make the problem. So I know people that have gotten actually sober from DUIs. It is definitely different. Your videos are helping. 15 days sober. Congratulations. Thank you for your story. It helps. Absolutely, Carolyn. Absolutely. How do I tell if someone has been taking this stuff? If you want to know, here are common signs of somebody's using cocaine. First and foremost, the most common sign that people are using cocaine is their personality changes. Cocaine changes your personality. So you go to big mood energy. And what big mood energy is man, they're going to talk at 1,000 miles a minute. They have all the answers to the world. They are so excited. You have no idea. We're going to conquer the world. This business idea is wonderful. They're going to literally ramble and talk that quick about absolutely motherfucking nothing. Nothing at all. They have nothing at all. If you guys do want any support when it comes to this or mentoring, that is a phone number. It's $4.99 a chat to talk with me for the day. But if you do want a message, that is the number you can actually reach out to me at. 2 months clean today. Congratulations. Another sign that somebody is actually on coke is they're going to have the ups and downs. They come very almost manic. They have mad highs. They have mad lows. Coke only lasts in your system for about 20 minutes. So once the Coke runs out, your dopamine cuts off, your serotonin cuts off, so you go down low. And you get really depressed. And that's where that twitch comes from, man. And addicts know what the twitch is, dude. We have that twitch where we're not talking to anybody. We don't want to talk to anyone. We just want our dealer, man. We want to get it back into our system because we want that high again. We want that excitement again. We want that feeling again. And unfortunately, it literally rewires your brain so that little things in life no longer bring you happiness. And that's the shitty part about it. That's the biggest struggle is waiting for your brain to actually chemicals to rebalance back out. 40 days, congratulations. How do you stop people being mean to you? Cut them out of your life. Just want to emphasize your poor choices made in youth will haunt you. You cannot imagine. You know what? I own all my choices. Nothing will haunt you. Nothing will haunt you unless you let it haunt you. The one thing I will say is the biggest thing I will say is definitely go and own your shit, man. You have to own your shit. And if you don't own your shit, it will always haunt you. It doesn't matter if you're an addict or not. Like the biggest thing I can always say is that I had to go make amends to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that told me go fuck myself. 8 days sober, congratulations. I love seeing all the sober dates there. And even just dude, the first 15 days sober is fucking amazing, dude. And for the ones that are fighting through that, because that's where that first urges to really relapse hits. Recovery program was I in? I was in I can't fucking ruin my life recovery program. I actually didn't go to a recovery program. I have done work with recovery centers. I didn't even know about recovery programs. My recovery program was cold turkey at home, shaking it out, sweating it out, fucking vomiting it out, not eating, trying to remember to drink water, on the floor, fetal position, just stomach cramps, talking to people on the phone, going to AA meetings, not saying shit to anybody, not talking to anybody, afraid to be there, not sure if I belong there. What the fuck am I doing? I mean, that was my recovery program for like the first 15 minutes or 15 days, 20 days until I started fucking literally asking people for help more. And I started asking more and more for help and realized that everybody around me was fucked up just like me. And they were willing to help me. And I don't know why. Even when I needed help actually at AA 5 years ago about My 5th year of sobriety, I literally went back into AA. I'd been 5 years sober. I fucking bust down fucking crying in fucking AA. I raised my hand and I asked again for a sponsor because I needed help again. And that's the thing is our sobriety is an ever maintenance thing. It's always one day. 2 months sober today, congratulations. 6 months clean, you relapsed last night, you pick up the pieces and you go back at it. You pick up the pieces literally and go back at it. Have you ever seen people have psychotic break because of coke? Yes, Jack. I attempted suicide a year and a month after being sober on coke because you don't realize, like the hardest part of coke withdrawals for me was my head. I couldn't get my head straight. Like coke doesn't give you like physical withdrawals. Coke doesn't give you these physical urges. It's not like heroin withdrawal or opiate withdrawal or benzo withdrawal or alcohol withdrawal. I mean, coke is so much mental for you. And dude, I snapped, man. I could not get happy and I didn't understand why. Thanks so much for the heart. And so I literally ended up just getting to a place that, yeah, I was sober. I had a year of sobriety under me. I had my chip and I wanted to fucking die, man. I hated my life. Like I hated it all. It wasn't fixing everything. I couldn't get this straight. And that's when I really got into a lot of therapy. So if you do get sober, therapy is a huge part of sobriety, I think, and you got to talk to your therapist, be honest with your therapist, and tell your therapist, this is what I'm struggling with, and don't be afraid to get on some meds of, maybe Lexapro or whatever you work with your doctor on. Thank you so much for the gifts. 112 days, congratulations, man. Dude, I'm grateful for you. That's awesome. Anxiety tips, it depends on what triggers and brings out your anxiety. Therapy helps a lot with it, though. I used to have general anxiety disorder. I still have general anxiety disorder. You want to know the one thing that actually helped me the most with my anxiety was this. I got fucking divorced and I started creating the life that I wanted. And it was amazing how much my sobriety was easier. My depression was less. My urges to relapse were less. And I started living life for me again. And that was amazing. I'm glad, Scott. I'm glad. Nothing wrong with being 30 minutes sober. I know what it's like just to be 30. I know what it's like to be that first 10 hours sober, dude, going, what the fuck did I decide to do? You always have big boot energy. I've always been confused because I know it just helps me just stay awake. Any suggestions? Because I'd like for it not to be that way. Carolyn, I would get with your doctor on it. You may have like narcolepsy or something like that. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor when it comes to any of this. I literally use coke because it made me happy. That's why I use coke. It made me happy. It took away all my anxiety. It took away all my pain. And it got to the point that I just wanted that happiness. Unfortunately, I had to keep doing more and more and more. And it upped the amount that I had to keep doing to keep that happiness. So that was my biggest struggle when it came to it. So I would I will never just say that therapy is the shit. You saved yourself. Knew it became a problem, decided to call my guy at 5 a.m. for an 8-ball. Glenn, dude, you want to know what a coke addiction is? This is coke addiction at its fucking peak and at its work. Coke addiction is this at 3 a.m. in the morning after your plug just dropped off another fucking 8-ball. You're fucking hot plating in the fucking microwave. You're fucking naked, sweating bullets down. You're watching fucking porn, losing your shit by yourself, carpet surfing because you think you dropped a chunk on the floor. And this is like the life that you have now created for yourself because you are that addicted to it. And that is the sad part. How many years did you use? I used on and off. So the last spurt of my addiction was 2015 to 2017. That is literally when it was about October of 2015 when I went to doing 2 to 3 fifths of vodka a day. And I was right then, I was up to at least an 8-ball of coke a day at that time. And that didn't stop until 7/25/17. That's where I went. Found me yesterday. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely, Gypsy. I'm glad that you're here still. Bess, you actually helped me with live. I'm glad I did. How did you know you needed to stop? I know I needed to stop because I got fired from my job. So I was making right around $50,000 a month. I knew I lost that job. My wife wanted to leave me. I had no money in the bank. Didn't know how I was going to get another job. Couldn't even go an hour in the morning sober until I had to at least start drinking. Wondering how I'm going to pay for this addiction now that I lost my job. And I'd always repeated this cycle and I went, what the fuck, dude? I can't do this shit no more. What did I do? I was a general manager of an RV dealership. How long have I been sober? 7/25/17. I'm coming up on 7 years now. How did you make that much money? What did I spend it on? I spent it on fucking drugs, dude. My drug addiction was about 13 to 15 grand a month, not counting all the bullshit that I blew money on. I could if I wanted to get back into that business. You'd be surprised. I've met coke addicts out there, and I've worked with current coke addicts out there in the last month that made more money than me. It's amazing. Most coke addicts that I've talked to that really relate to my content, literally 800,000, 700,000 a year. These are successful motherfucking people, and they're just like, dude, I can't get off a fucking blow. And I'm like, no, I get it. Like, I relate to them, and they relate to me. Because again, it is amazing what ends up happening of who are coke addicts out there. Dude, coke is hard to overcome. It's very hard to overcome. A family member who right now is in the middle of it. If you have a family member in the middle of it right now, just set up healthy boundaries. Set up healthy boundaries. Trust me on that. Like, cut a lot of people out of your life too. So, how do you reward a loved one who's 100 days sober? Mary, of something from your heart. Something from your heart. But here's what you got to remember too. Maybe take them out to a nice, like make them a nice dinner or something like that. Do something fun with them. But here's the thing that you want to remind them is that they're doing it for themselves and they're not doing it for you. Or they're not doing it for anyone else in their life. The one thing that I always failed with a lot with coke is that I failed so much getting sober from cocaine because I would try to do it for other reasons other than myself. And so then I would think I had it fucking under control. Next thing you know, I'm drinking again. Next thing you know, all of a sudden I'm doing line after line after line. Yes, I do pineapple stuff too. Going to buy. If you think you need rehab, maybe you do, but don't worry about going to rehab. I mean, rehab is a very healthy alternative. I wish I would have went to rehab when I got sober. I wish I would have, to getting sober, I wish I would have did rehab. It would have probably been a lot healthier for me. I did complete the 12 steps, yes. And if you guys do want some help in mentoring, 530-491-4734 is a cell number that you can text. It's through a service of mine. It's $4.99, but I will help you. After bar parties, did coke, yeah. Ever having yeah, I had a lot of intrusive thoughts. I didn't want to live when I was fucking a coke addict. You're addicted to speed. Speed is a whole different beast, but speed is also methamphetamines as a stimulant. So stimulants are both going to react very, very similar. Never had OCD, so I can't tell you what kind of tips. What job did I did? General manager. I've been in RV dealerships and I've ran RV dealerships most of my life. And if you're struggling, Emilio, with depression and mental health and stuff, my suggestion is you got to find a therapist. Be honest with your therapist. There is stuff I can call in, but again, it is $4.99. I get a ton of text messages and a lot of DMs. I started drinking at 14. I started unhealthy drinking at right around 15. I have a family member who is right in the middle of addiction. Every time I talk to him, so annoyed. If your family member's annoyed you talking to them, fucking block them out. Don't even try and help. But you can't help an addict. That's the worst part. You guys want to know how to help an addict? You don't. You help an addict by helping yourself. The best thing my mom ever did was tell me to go fuck myself and to literally not enable me, not give me money, not support me, because that actually made me realize that now I'm truly fucking alone. An addict isn't going to hit rock bottom with any kind of help out there. They really aren't. An addict will hit rock bottom when it comes to that they are broke, drunk, fucking alone, looking around wondering, how am I homeless under a fucking overhead pass? You know, I mean, that's literally where addicts have to be to get sober. Psychedelics were not my thing. Rock bottom is the biggest help. That's how you get sober. And rock bottom is different for everybody. Rock bottom is literally different for everybody. Yeah, I was spending well over $300 a day. I'm not counting all the stupid shit I blew money on too. As a lot of people don't realize, when you mix coke and alcohol, it creates cocaethylene. Cocaethylene is very euphoric. That's why you have that euphoric feeling, that no shit's given feeling. And that literally puts you in these positions where you do blow all your money. You're not thinking logical whatsoever. And it's so easy to fucking blow money. Cutting everyone else makes you want to do it. Helps too. Yeah. No, I had to cut out everybody. How hard was it to get sober? It was hard. 13 years, man, of relapses. My first time sober, I was sober for 90 days, relapsed. I have a lot of 30-day tokens. I have a lot of 6-month tokens, 3-month token, 90-day tokens. And then I would fucking just relapse.
There's a way to put like notes.
You
can put notes on your life so it can like just sit up here the whole time.
Oh, that's cool. We do recover. We definitely do. 61 days sober, that's awesome. Rock bottom is the
I
only
don't
way,
think
Gypsy.
You can do it now. You might have to
What
do
made
it
me?
when we first start.
Okay, I could do. I'll like a banner deal.
It's a banner. You can leave it up.
Oh, nice. What made me start? I wanted to be cool. You want to know the truth? I wanted to be cool. I was in high school. I thought that all the cool kids were drinking. I wanted to drink, and I liked drinking all of a sudden, and drinking was fun. And I was a kid, dude, and this is what we do as kids. Like we live life, and the next thing you know, I got introduced to weed, and then next thing you know, it was fucking when I did coke the first time even, it didn't suck me in like it did when I did it later on. Eventually, I ended up doing it. And what keeps me from relapsing now, Gypsy? A lot actually keeps me from relapsing now. If I really struggle now, I'm going to talk to my wife. I'll talk to my sponsor. I'll talk to other people in sobriety. I have a huge support system around me. The other thing is that I'll do is, I do a gratitude journal, and I'll go back to that and start writing down everything I'm grateful for of what addiction literally took from me. Because addiction literally took everything from me. Addiction will give you wings and it will take away the sky. Addiction literally makes you think that you have solved all of your problems in 15 minutes that you didn't, and then they come back 10 times worse, and they keep coming back worse, and they keep coming back worse. So the biggest thing that I have found is that if I start writing down on a gratitude journal and just start writing down what made me happy and where I'm at now and look at where I've come, that helps me just realize it. Like, why the fuck are you even contemplating this shit? Started when you're 16 or 20 now? Dude, that's where a lot of us start when it comes to addiction. If you talk to a lot of alcoholics, a lot of coke addicts, a lot of addicts out there, it is huge thing to go and you look at their childhood of how much they started really using as a child. Do you ever lie about being sober? It depends on what you mean by that, because technically if you're in NA, I am not sober. There are people in NA that will say that I am not sober because I'm on Adderall. Adderall is a stimulant drug. There are people that are addicted to Adderall. I'm on Adderall. It helps me function as a fucking human being. And it actually helps me keep sober. Do I ever drive under influence? All the time. I actually had a lot of driving anxiety when I got sober because I was so used to being fucked up and drunk that all of a sudden being sober and driving again was fucking freaky and scary as fuck, dude. There's cars and all of this. Like, holy shit. How do I have my boyfriend that's going through addiction with his dad and brothers? Who's with his dad and brothers? Why do I take Adderall? I'm ADHD. I got diagnosed with ADD at 13, got re-diagnosed with ADHD at 17, and Adderall literally keeps me sane. I'm glad they helped, Nick. Adderall is a great tool, and now you can become dependent on Adderall. I'm dependent on it. I'm not addicted to it. I have tons of Adderall, but I'm not addicted to it. I take it as prescribed, and I have to remember to take it. You take Adderall also? You have ADHD? A lot of people have ADHD. Hi, how are you? Michaela, you can't help your friend stop drinking. You seriously can't. You can't help an addict. You can never tell people to stop. People are not going to stop. People literally will not stop. I wish I could send you gifts, but no, you're fine, Butters. But is it okay to work out when taking Adderall? Yeah, it's okay to work out when taking Adderall. I mean, Adderall is this. You get with your therapist on it. I've been on Adderall for a very long time. Get with your therapist on it. You got to make sure that you eat. It is a great tool. Like, yes, I wish I would have been on something different when I was diagnosed with ADHD, but I was diagnosed with ADHD in the late 90s, and Adderall was the new drug. Like, Adderall is supposed to be the cure-all for it. I've taken Vyvanse, I've taken Adderall XR. I've trialed and errored it with a lot of medications, and Adderall itself helps me the best. How do you help them? Is literally cutting them out of your life. You want to know my best help to help an addict if they have drinking too much, all that? If it becomes toxic to you, cut them out. Cut them out. Trust me. Addicts will pull you down. They will fucking ruin you. When I was an addict, I fucking lied to everyone. I cheated. I stole money. I manipulated everyone. I enabled myself. I did everything I could. I mentor people? Yes, big dog. I actually have 2 different mentoring services. I do one-on-one. If you go to ericbzink.com, you can schedule one. I do a couple a day. I'm not sure what my schedule fully looks like this week. And I also have a texting service too, 530-491-4734. It is $4.99 though. I started drinking again after grandma death. What do? Luke, biggest thing is why are you drinking? What are you running from, man? Focus on the grief. Go for the grief. That's the thing that I don't think people realize is, like, I drink a ton. After I lost my wife to suicide, I relapsed hardcore. I went hardcore, full-blown addiction. And I handled it differently, though, when my dad killed himself. And I fought for my sobriety. I know.
Well, I'm just like the question.
Have the questions that I can point to. But you also relapse because it's excuse. Relapse is a huge relapse is excuse. It's all excuse. Relapse is just being a bitch. And I was a big bitch. I was the biggest bitch. I've been in ANA and AA. I've done the 12 steps and all that good stuff. I've sponsored people before. How do you help someone with coke addiction? You can't help anyone with coke addiction. You got to let them hit rock bottom. They have to want it, dude. That's the thing. Is people have to want to be sober. You can't help. You see it. You see people fucking as addicts. You see people fucked up. And you can't do anything for them. That is them. And it's up to them to get sober. They're going to get sober one way or another. They're either going to kill themselves, they're going to OD and get sober that way, or they're going to decide that they want to actually get sober. Do you think addicts are able to return to things like alcohol in moderation? Ryan, I don't know. And if they can, cool. But I'll never risk it, dude. My sobriety is more important to me than trying to see if I could use alcohol again. And I've learned so much of how to have a fun life still being sober that I don't even want to risk it. I don't want to attempt it because I love my sober life. I really fucking love my sober life. I lived in California for a long time. I'm long-term sobriety. It's jail, death, or sobriety. Yeah, you can't make them quit, Laura. You can't. And that's the thing that's always been pained me is when I watch and talk to people and they're like, how can I get a family member to quit? How can I get somebody that I love to quit? And you can't make anybody quit. You can't convince anybody to quit. They have to want it themselves. And it is a fight and it is a nightmare. And it's literally watching somebody struggle and fight for their life. Thank you so much, Gypsy. I appreciate you, sweetie. Millen view on Adderall and NA. Yeah, no, I don't like the view of Adderall and NA at all. And again, I know people. I have a friend actually of mine that was a Adderall addict. Popped him like fucking Skittles, and I couldn't understand it because like I've taken like way too much Adderall before. Like when I was trial and erroring it with a doctor, there was one point where the doctor was like, well, let's try 60 milligrams in a day. And dude, that hyper focused me. It was not good. I did it one day and I'm like, yeah, that's way too much. But when you find that right dosage, I mean, Adderall helps me with my sobriety because it keeps me sane. It keeps me very logical. I'm not as impulsive. I'm not as spontaneous, and I can focus on me and what I need to do. Medication out there, yeah, it has a downside to it, but it also can have a very big positive side to it. I'm proud of everyone in this live too. How do you get in the mindset of wanting to get sober, Patrick? You have to lose it all, dude. You lose it all. You burn your fucking life to the ground. Fucking people are leaving you left and right, and you realize that you are alone and you are fucking you've ruined your life. You have burnt your life to the fucking ground, and you're like, this sucks. I need to change something. And it took me forever. It took me forever to finally break down and realize, fuck, man, I keep doing this self to me nonstop. Why? Oh, wait, because I've always fucking used. You're not ignored. You hate RSD. I don't really know what RSD is, Casper. Sorry. Social anxiety tips? Depends on what triggers your social anxiety. Yeah, the person will pull away and isolate, Carly, when the coke effects go away, just because it does put you into a low. There is a coke drop that you essentially hit where you end up, your dopamine now stops, your serotonin's whacked. So your mood's all over the place and you're not happy. Like you are not happy. And it puts you in a very depressive state. So it's very common for coke addicts. Once they've done a massive amount of coke to isolate, I sure the fuck did. Good to see you too. Can I help my boyfriend when his dad and brother are both drug addicts? Not usually, Kaden. I mean, they got to help themselves. I was addicted for 5 years and had to lose everything. My daughter wanted nothing to do with me. I've been sober 4 years. My drug of choice was cocaine. Susie, I feel that, dude. That was me. I didn't lose. I have 2 kids in my life now that I love to fucking death. They are my kids. Like, they're not my kids, but they're my stepkids. Love them to fucking death. But I know if I ever used, I would lose them in my life. Your health does, in a sense, go back to normal. I don't know what's going to end up happening with my heart down the road. I don't know what will happen to this. But a lot of what you've went through, like your brain will stabilize out for sure. My nose is fucked for life. I get to live with a fucked nose. That is one of my other accounts, Samantha. Yes. Completely different topic. But no, when it comes to a lot of the effects that you're going to get from using coke or when it comes to using addiction. What's happening when it comes to being an addict? A lot of those effects are going to reverse themselves once you get sober, and it takes a while for it to. Um, do you think about it? Not really. I mean, I'll think about it just for the sole fact that I like to share about it and I like to help educate about it. I like to help people get sober. It makes me feel good. Helping others helps you in your own sense. I like to spread a lot of kindness when it comes to it because I know what it's like to be in a dark place. So that's the one thing that I really enjoy about it. But the only times I ever think about it. Did you get withdrawal? I got bad withdrawals, Crudge. My worst withdrawal was depression, man. Depression and getting my brain to level out. I mean, what it does to dopamine and what it does to your mood and stuff is real. I know a lot of people that I've talked with that dude, 3 months into you getting sober from cocaine, if you're a heavy coke user, you got to get with a therapist. You got to get with doctors to literally help overcome some of this depression. Because when you take it on by yourself, it's a bad place, man. It's a very, very, very bad place. But sometimes, do you think about? No, I have no desire to do coke again. I had to go through drug attention since I was younger with my dad. It hurts really bad. I can imagine it does. Does making videos help me? Helping others helps me. Helping others helps me. It makes me feel good to help others. Not to save anyone's life, but to share about it helps. Yes, Al-Anon is amazing, Michaela. If you have a loved one that is an active addict, Al-Anon is phenomenal. It helps you realize that you're not insane. It helps hold you even accountable for knowing the difference between support and enabling. And that is the hardest thing to do, is to find that balance of support between what is support and what is enabling. Because the most dangerous thing is we as addicts are going to try and suck you in to enable us. We're going to be the victim. We're going to be the little bitch. We're going to use every method we can to get what we need to make life okay so that we can continue our focus on using. Reassuring people there. Thank you, Layla. I appreciate that. There are kind people out there. There are good people out there. Believe it or not, and most strangers who you don't even know, who don't judge you, I mean, that's the most amazing thing you can ever see. If someone did it for a year, are they fucked? You're going to feel it a little bit. You will definitely feel some. Can one stop? Can one change in a relationship if one doesn't stop? It's hard, dude. I was toxically codependent with my wife who killed herself. Brandy and I were addicts together. Her drugs of choice were alcohol and benzos. Mine was cocaine and alcohol. So if you live with an addict, it is very, very, very hard to find a balance where you can actually get sober. A lot of my relapses, like I would get sober, she would still be drinking and stuff, and eventually I would crack and just start drinking. How did you find your higher power? Cole, this is my belief on the higher power thing, because a lot of people really fight the God thing and fight, religion and all that, and I don't care. If your higher power is this fucking cup, good. Literally finding a higher power when it comes to getting sober, and this is something that has helped me stay sober, is knowing that I'm not in control. The universe doesn't revolve the fuck around me. That I am not above anybody else. I am me, and that is it. And so no matter what it is, it's more of instilling that belief that your world doesn't revolve around you, and giving yourself up and realizing that some of this shit is out of your control. And so you got to control the controllable, and you have to focus and worry about you, and you can't just worry about everything else. Very proud. Help me through the bad spot. Help. Awesome, Sharky. How do you support someone who doesn't think they have a problem? Don't give them any money. Only let them around when you want them around. Again, it's very hard if the people don't think they have a problem, because no addict in active addiction typically, unless they're at that little bit of a low, and they look at you and they're probably fucked up and drunk, and they're like, dude, I think I'm an addict or whatever it is. Most addicts aren't going to look at you and be like, hey, I'm an addict, man. I have a problem. Most don't do that. Most always will think they have it under control. Most think that they have a grip on it. And so literally comes down to the best support I think you can really give is cutting a lot of those people out of your life. I've had to cut some people out of my life that were addicts, because again, you're not going to help anybody. And I'm not going to sit there and listen to the same bullshit. And enabling can sometimes be just listening and validating somebody. What if it's a spouse? Do you want to be married? You can love them, but I'll tell you this, if you love an addict, There's one thing that they will always love more than you, and that's their fucking drug of choice. And I know because I've been there. Again, when it's an addict, ultimatums don't help. None of that helps. A lot of it really comes down to what do you want? Because the most important thing, Nate, isn't your fucking spouse or your partner, it's you. How long did you withdraw? Withdrawals were the worst for, I would say, with Coke, it was like a year after I got sober is when those withdrawals got the worst. What's your question? Somebody's had a question. And if you guys want to message, I do a mentoring service. That's the phone number for it up there. It's $4.99. Yeah, they have to hit rock bottom. Why do I feel disgusting when I use meth? I was addicted for a long time because you probably used it again and you know that you shouldn't have fucking used it. Call it what it is, Mark. When my boyfriend gets his own money. A lot of times with addicts, whenever they get their own money, that's where the money goes to, dude. Every addict is sober up until payday, dude. Every addict is like, oh man, I maybe shouldn't do this. And then once they get paid, that all fucking goes out the window. Addicts lie to themselves as much as they're lying to you and everybody else in their life. Yeah. What's rock bottom? I mean, 2 DUIs, felony later. How much more does it take? For some people, death. Rock bottom is different for everybody, man. And some unfortunately don't wake up. And that is the reality of, unfortunately, addiction. It really, rock bottom is so different for everybody else. And part of it might be, Michaela, is you being there and you leaving helps even edge it even further into rock bottom. Thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lewis. So if I recovered, will a heart attack come later in life? Who knows? It could. I could have a heart attack later in life from all the fucking coke I did. No idea how much damage I've done to this. I mean, I've done my fucking physicals and they tell me I'm super healthy and all that stuff and great, but I don't know what will all end up happening. I've done coke a few years now, but I just for fun never had any problems with it. But last month did it more than ever. I feel a need that I have to get a bag. Yeah, that's it, dude. The addiction stage is where you start needing to have it. You start wanting to have it. It starts invading your brain. You want to know if you're an addict? Can you go a week without thinking about it? If you can't go a week without thinking about it and it's on your brain, how can I maybe get it? Man, what would it feel like to do it again? I mean, that is your addiction starting to take more and more of a hold of you. There's strong, which is what you are, and there's army strong. I mean, I guess it does work for some people. I know people in the army though that were addicts too. I'm glad, Jody, they do. Um, Absolutely. Would it be a good start to quit the amount I take, then slowly quit? If you can reduce it, dude, props to you. I was never able to reduce it. I could reduce it for like a day. I'd reduce use for like a day. I'd lie to myself. I ain't ready to be sober yet. I would have been better off. I've never been to Oxford House. I would have been better off looking and going, man, I ain't ready to be sober yet, and just keep using it, hit rock bottom almost sooner. Because literally, if I'm not ready to quit, I'm not ready to quit, and that shows just how much of an addict I am. You will never help anyone realize that they're an addict, Sharky, unfortunately. Addicts have to learn it for themselves. What made me decide to stop? Making $50,000 a month to making nothing literally burnt my life down again. I ruined my life many times over. And finally, I was tired of it, and I had this little moment of clarity, and I was like, I have a decision I can make. I either stop using, and maybe this shit will change and get better, or I don't. Do you think meeting help without treatment? It can help, Cole. I mean, meetings help me. It just helped me to be around people. It helped me to talk to people. It helped me when I had the urges to be able to call somebody and be like, hey, let's meet up for some coffee or something. I just need to talk to somebody. I need to get out of the house. I need to just get the shit out of my head that I'm going through. And so it did help me a lot. Can't go a day. I've got to get my shit together. Yeah, no, you got to get your shit together if you can't go a day. But that's up to you. And it's when you're ready. I'll never tell an addict, dude, hey, you're ready. Let's do this. No, it's being ready is different for everybody. All right. At the moment. And you see, oops, what was that, babe? I'm drinking. How can you see when to stop even if you're not an addict? I don't know. I don't know, man, because I just drank until I passed the fuck out. I couldn't stop. That was my problem with drinking. I didn't drink because I enjoyed drinking. I didn't like IPA beers. I didn't like that shit. I liked shots. I liked getting fucked up. If someone did it for a year as teenager, still live, I'm sure they'll still live long and fine. I overdosed 3 times. It still wasn't rock bottom. You're right. Everyone's rock bottom is different. Exactly, Susie. Everyone's rock bottom is different. I know it's like to OD. If you guys don't know what it's like to OD on coke, I can tell you this. Because I freaked out the first time that it happened. I was doing a lot of lines, and it got to the point all of a sudden I could not cool down. So I felt mad chest pain here, and I thought maybe it was a panic attack or something. I'm ripping all my clothes off. I jumped into the shower, and I was just dripping sweat, and I ended up throwing up. And I had this just delirious fucking just reality going on, and I was like, I need to stay here, otherwise I'm not going to be here. You can OD on coke, and an overdose is different for a lot of people. I am more than truly happy now, dude. If somebody said this was my last day, I would look and say this and be like, you know what? To be able to live the last year that I have has made it all worth it. That's how happy I truly am. For a long time, I thought I had bad luck. Yeah, no, same here. Sober now, 11 months. My luck has improved. Isn't it amazing when you get sober how much your luck improves? We always think that because we're the victim, I think, with a gypsy. When we are in active addiction, we are the victim, and the world's against us, and everyone's against us, and it's all poor me. And it's amazing what happens when you do get sober and you realize that you have now control over your life and how you handle things. Fent lace crack, yeah, exactly, River, dude. And my heart goes out to you. People don't realize how much fentanyl is mixed with shit now, and especially coke addicts don't assume that there's going to be fentanyl in coke. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. I can't make myself to give up on her. It's not giving up on her. It's living your life. You are more than a relationship. An addict does not love you. If you want me to say that again, an addict does not love you. If somebody is an addict in your life, there is one thing that they will always love more than you. They will always pick over you. And if you don't believe me that they pick it over you, do they tell you about it? If they don't tell you about it, they're picking it over you and they're doing it behind your fucking back. So an addict will love their addiction. They will love their drug of choice better than you all the time. Thank you, Timmy. I appreciate that. OD'd once. Light in front of my eyes, blinking, had a chest pain, insane. Yeah, dude, the beats per minute, dude. Your heart feels like it's going to rip the fuck out of your chest. Never stopped me until I watched my best friend OD in front of me. That cult. A lot of people get sober that way, dude, is watching one of their friends die, unfortunately. How did you make it through losing your wife and dad? I just lost a childhood best friend. Therapy and grief. You got to own the grief. You got to own the grief, man. And it's a process. I wish there was like an easy way, Sharky. I literally grieved my wife's suicide with coke and alcohol. And with my dad, I ignored a lot of it, but I allowed it to build a lot of trauma. So I had to go to a lot of trauma therapy. I had to learn how to self-love. I had to learn to overcome abandonment challenges. I had to work on myself a lot. And it was an involved process. Oh, thank you, babe, for the rose. So it was a process to get myself to that point. It just didn't happen. It was a process. And you do heal, and you have to remember that, ultimately it comes down to you deserve a good life, and you have to remember that, man. And you can't be the fucking martyr of life, dude. You have to deserve do your good life. Thank you for the heart, Colt. All right, I'm gonna go jump over to Instagram. I'm gonna do an Instagram live for about 30 minutes. And I am live on YouTube. So if you guys haven't followed my YouTube channel, it's Eric B. Zink. You can click the link in the bio. It will take you to my YouTube channel. It should be up there with the links. And I'm going to be on the Mr.Impulsive on Instagram. But if you do want to text me, you can. I do have a texting service out there. It's $4.99. I do throw that out there. It's for 18 older. It is a mentoring service. 530-491-4734. The first couple of texts are an AI to gather some information for me, and then I jump in and I will sit and talk with you. But love you guys. So I'm going to stay on YouTube right now, and I'm going to actually end this though here on TikTok, and I'm going to jump over to my Instagram. Thank you, Sharky. You're a brave person too, and dude, definitely get with some therapy on it. Get with some grief counseling on it. It will make a huge fucking difference for you. Believe me. it makes a huge fucking difference. It makes a huge difference to heal through that shit. Otherwise, we just keep it inside and it gets bad. Cocaine is bad. Yes, no, cocaine is very bad. Cocaine is ugly. All right, I'm jumping off of this live here, and I'm gonna go onto Instagram now. All right, what's up, people on YouTube?
Shut that window behind you. The reflection's really bad.
All right.
Light coming in.
TikTok, yeah, no, I was on TikTok too. I usually will do 2 lives at the same time. I like YouTube because YouTube I can at least save the whole video and just put it up. And so I went live once on my Instagram and it was kind of insane. So I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna see what it's like. So I'm gonna go live on there too. There we are. It's kind of fun to go on Instagram live, but it's also a little bit of like a train wreck. Twisted my sobriety. Tantra. Good song. I cooked dinner here shortly. Dude, I will say this, like people ask like what are some of the joys that you find in sobriety? And I have found like the joys in some of the smallest stuff. Do you love my videos? Thanks so much, Aubrey. I appreciate that. I do my best to just share and be real. And yeah, again, it's just me sharing me. And I think that that's important, especially when it comes to when it just comes to anything in life, man, because if you're not that authentic with yourself, you're just a fake motherfucker and you just literally fuck yourself over. What up, Drew? Hello. I'm alive. I was live on TikTok here a little bit ago. I figured I'd go live on Instagram. I'm also live on YouTube if you guys do it. Eric, love with you. Thank you so much, Real. What's your question, Gypsy? Your videos are, I'm glad that they help. You've helped. I haven't saved your life, dude. You saved your life. Do I need to quit drinking to quit a bag? I had to quit drinking to quit the bag, dude. I couldn't quit a bag by myself, dude. Coke and alcohol went hand in hand with me. I was obsessed with cocaine. And as soon as I would drink a little bit of alcohol, it literally went into, I need to get a bag. I got to call a fucking plug. All the love. Been there, made 11 months clean Saturday. Congratulations on the 11-month clean. That is huge. Happy sober New Year's. Exactly, dude. New Year's sober is actually a lot of fun. Can't sleep. Videos save you. I'm glad that they help. I like doing the videos. I share the reality in the videos. I mean, I probably am a little too graphic sometimes in the videos because, yes, it did take my wife 3 attempts to commit suicide that day. No, my wife and I were not together at the time when she committed suicide. We were separated. We were very toxic addicts. And we were going to die one way or another. It was either through killing each other through our addiction or we try and fight for ourselves. And unfortunately, that was one of the outcomes. Hello. I know this is kind of weird, but you are, thanks, Aubrey. Found your content after getting out of the psych ward. Thank you for posting. Absolutely. I like to post the content. I like to share the content because I think that kindness matters. I think that understanding that other people went through deep shit and hard shit fucking matters. I always knew that somebody knew what I was talking about if they knew what it was like to be in a dark fucking place, because that's the best way I could always describe depression was just a darkness. It was like this cloud of just shit, man, that fucking followed you around. And you got to the point that no one else you thought could see this cloud and no one else could understand and feel how you felt. So you were alone. And now all of a sudden you felt like it must be your problem. Why is my voice going weird? Because I've been live for a while. I was live on TikTok before this. I've been helpful. I'm glad. When I stopped alcohol use first, will the bag fall? For me, I quit both at the same time. I quit alcohol and Coke at the same time. I went through with the withdrawals at the same time. I went cold turkey. You got to find out why you're harming. I went through all of it together. And so it was I felt all those withdrawals together. I'll put it that way. So I can't really tell you exactly. With Coke, I didn't feel any of the physical withdrawals from it. Alcohol felt a ton of the fucking physical withdrawals from it. But when it came to Coke, the mental withdrawal and the pause, if you don't know what pause is, that shit will fuck you up. That is the long-term fucking withdrawals of addiction. What's my TikTok? Is the Mr. Impulsive. And make sure no strange stuff. Yeah, exactly. No strange stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What's the best way to say no when people keep trying to make you do drugs? No. Walk the fuck away. I didn't realize I had a bunch of people hit me up about M30s and blues. I didn't even know about M30s and blues. Like I've done oxycodone, Norcos. That was the only opiates I ever really did. And I ended up, I liked them. It gave me a lot of energy. I didn't realize how many people fucking pill press pills now though. Depression is something that you have to really talk about. You definitely have to talk about. That's real. The talk to a therapist. That is my biggest thing. I will always tell people you talk to a fucking therapist and you don't lie to a therapist. I was the best liar to a therapist there was. I always lied to my therapist. Life was good. Life was great. I'm happy. Nothing's wrong. And then I wonder why I didn't get shit out of therapy. I wonder why therapy didn't work for me. Well, because I fucking lied. When I started being honest with my therapist is when therapy actually started making a big difference to me. I started finding coping tools. I started finding ways to overcome things. I started learning how to create self-love. I started learning how to be somebody that I wanted to be. And that was the important thing about it. Thank you, Cram. I appreciate that. I know, and I started sharing even a mentoring service. So if you do want to text, you can 530-491-4734. It is through a company that I work with. It is $4.99 for the chat for the day. But if you need help, just mentoring wise, I am more than happy to do that. I have a lot of one-on-ones I also do. If you go to ericbzink.com, just because it's nice to have somebody who understands. And if you want, it's like the way that I got sober, the way that I fought through my depression, the way that I have fought through life isn't the same for everybody else. And it's not going to work for everybody else at all. You have to find these little nuggets of gold. You have to trial and error it so much to find out what truly works for you, because what worked for me may not work for you. So finding what works for you is what it's all fucking about. So when you find something that works for you, then you start adding it into your fucking toolkit of what helps me fight through life. Because life is fucking hard sometimes. You won't ever lose yourself. You can always find yourself. Turn on the light. Jeez, pull the jar to make you old soon. Dude, if you're in that dark place now, the best thing I can always tell people is literally just fucking tell everybody you're struggling. 2 weeks or 2 months off the bag. Congratulations. I hit the gym every day. 2 weeks off the bag is fucking huge, dude. Or 2 months. Because that first month off the bag is hard, dude. Stopping doing coke for a month is hard. Because that's where you start to really realize how much you are addicted to this shit. So then all of a sudden, 2 months into you realize that you're fucking depressed. And now it starts becoming that fight. I'm doing good. How you doing? What up from Ukraine? Alcohol. Yeah, alcohol will fuck your whole system up. I'm good. I am an OG. You're an OG too, if you know that name. What are your tips? Everybody wants it to get better. Don't be a bitch. That's my biggest advice. People, if you really want your life to get better, don't be a fucking bitch. I was the biggest bitch in the world. So I'm not sitting here saying I'm better than anybody else. I was the biggest enabler of myself. Poor me. I was fucking poor Eeyore. I was motherfucking Eeyore, man. Fucking stubbed my toe. My God, the fucking world's against me. Oh my God, fucking horrible. Let me see, babe. Fuck, dude. Life sucks. I can. There you are. You're a moderator now. Holy shit. Life is fucking horrible. When I stopped doing that and I started owning my shit and looked in the mirror and said, dude, you got to knock this shit off. You have to own this shit. And I started no longer enabling myself. Holy fuck, man. It started making such a huge difference. And I've had people get offended because they're like, well, what do you suggest if I want to get sober, if I want to get out of depression, all this? Don't be a fucking bitch and go to work, because it's work. You've got to work on yourself. I'm waiting to get paid, so I can pay $40 to talk to you. You're struggling. I have a chat service too. It's a lot cheaper. It's $4.99. 530-491-4734. And the reason I do that is I don't care to make money off of this shit at all. But I get too many DMs, and I do actually feel bad not messaging people back because I get fucking bombarded by shit. And trying to sort through them is extremely difficult for me. 3.5 years clean. Congratulations. Don't trial and error it too late. No more errors that we could die from a relapse. No, it's trial and error though when it comes to with medication, it comes to therapy. It's trial and error definitely when it comes to finding the right therapist. Dude, sobriety is so worth it, man. I would not trade my sobriety for anything. Thank for your advice to really help. I'm glad that it helps. And that's the thing I always love too. Is it funny that you know what we can go through life and people just beat us the fuck down and people fucking put us down, and you find strangers sometimes out there, and sometimes strangers will show you the most kindness there is. If you want to be happy, if you want to find happiness and you want to lift some depression off of you, everybody, it's inevitable you're going to be on social media every day. So when you're on it, leave 5 nice comments for somebody. Leave 5 nice comments, and you'd be surprised how that makes you feel. You don't go back and check the comments. Don't look for validation out of them. Just do random acts of kindness. You'd be surprised how much that actually alone makes you feel good being nice to other people. 10 years clean from coke. Congratulations. That's fucking awesome. Eric, I'm currently taking Adderall and Klonopin for my ADHD and depression, but I'm worried about addictive Adderall because certainly it changed my life, but would not like. So here's the thing, Eric, when it comes to Adderall and it comes to Klonopin, they are both addictive substances. You can become dependent on them. I'm dependent on Adderall. If I get off my Adderall, I go through withdrawals. I do. The difference between addiction, though, and dependency, in my opinion, is this. I take 10 milligrams in the morning. I take 10 milligrams in the afternoon. That's it. As an addict will not stop. When it came to cocaine, if I had an 8-ball, the 8-ball's gone. There was no budgeting it out. There was no nothing. It was all or nothing. So I realized that, okay, I'm not addicted to this. I use it as prescribed. And do I want to get off of it eventually? Eventually I do. It is a goal for me too. Yeah, Stratera is one of those, yeah. Adderall isn't a narcotic, narcotics are more opiates. But they do have the dependency side to them. When it comes to Klonopin and it comes to Ativan or it comes to Xanax, I've been on those before. Xanax I was prescribed. When I lost my dad to suicide, I had a lot of panic attacks. That type of a drug is meant to be on for a temporary time. You can become dependent on it. It is addictive. Withdrawals of it can be deadly. So one of the important things is you got to get with your doctor when you start to wanting to get off of it, because you have to usually taper off of it in some cases. With me, I never tapered off of it. I ended up just stopping it, but also I didn't take it every single day. I ended up never refilling my prescription again, and I actually ended up feeling better. So it's not an addiction because my psychiatrist tells me all the time you have to take it if you not want to be back ADHD and depression. I'm worried. If you're worried about your heart, yes, Adderall can roll a punch to your heart, Eric. So you can switch over to non-stimulant ADHD meds. But here's my thing is get it under control, find the coping tools, find your system that works, and then start tweaking it slowly with your doctor. And if you don't like how your doctor is and they're not open-minded to possibly swapping out and switching meds, eventually maybe find another doctor and see what your thoughts are with them. Again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I just share from my own personal experiences. And my personal experience is this. I've been on Adderall. I tried Vyvanse. I've tried Adderall XR. I've been on Ritalin before. I stuck with Adderall because Adderall works the best for me. Eventually, I do want to get off onto a non-stimulant ADHD med. You've been hospitalized. So what's causing those, Court? There's a lot of good therapists out there, believe me. But it's also digging into what you need help with and what you need therapy for and why do you feel that way. I can tell you this. I tried to commit suicide. My suicide attempt was in 2018, and I wanted to die. I hated my life. And I had to find purpose in life. I had to find self-love again. I had to work through a lot of the trauma and the stuff that I didn't realize was fucking up my brain so much. And once I started really working on that and started finding the joys in life again and finding that I could enjoy life again, it made a huge difference. I already tried Wellbutrin. Works 3 months and made me feel deep depression. Yeah, I didn't like Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin didn't work well for me at all. I mean, Wellbutrin literally didn't do shit for me. I had a lot better luck off of actually none of the SSRIs really helped a whole lot. Hey, a lot of the SSRIs actually made me more depressed than they did anything else. That's why I actually tried Kratom, and I went through the whole Kratom experience. And Kratom had benefits to it, but Kratom also was way too addictive for me, and it was something even I got addicted to. Self-love is very important. You're on Lexapro. I know a lot of people that Lexapro works for. Some people Lexapro doesn't fucking work for. If a medication isn't working for you, you got to tell your therapist and your doctor. I've went to my doctors before and said, this shit doesn't fucking work. And yes, I will take it for the 30 days. And after 30 days, I will tell my doctor exactly how this shit made me feel, because I know the dangers also of trial and error. I don't know anything about that. I never took it. I will only share on medications that I personally take. If they did work, I pop one 2 weeks. Lack of personality. Yeah, no, it sucked a lot of my personality away. They made me really cold. Ah. So that is. I remember all the negatives. Yeah, try not to do it. You're a great channel. See your videos. They help you understand you're not the only one passing through. You're not the only one going through this shit. Believe me. I think that's one of the most important things to also realize and know, is that you're not the only ones going through this shit. You have a good day too. For like 7 years, starting to feel like they don't do anything for you. A lot of times, if you don't feel like the meds are doing anything, you got to get with your therapist. Again, I will always go right back to therapy and how important that shit is, and how be honest with your therapist is. I helped you a lot. You've helped yourself a lot. That's the thing that you got to remember. A lot of hard days. I haven't been through shit. No, dude, and dude, we've all been through different walks of life. We've all been through different shit. And that's the thing, is nobody's story and nobody's going through shit worse or better than you. We all go through our own shit. And that's the important thing that you have to remember, is that all of our stories are unique. All of our journeys are unique. All of our shit is real. All of what you're going through is valid. And a lot of times people don't realize that. You validate the shit that you're going through. It is real. And don't ever compare your story to anybody else's story. Because nobody's story is more inspirational than yours. Nobody's story is less inspirational than yours. We're all just trying to fucking fight through every single day with everything that we have, with no education on how to do this, and we are just trying to fucking make it. And you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are strong. Affirmations do actually fucking help. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, that's what makes you even more depressed, is when you start comparing yourself. And that's the thing that I always have struggles sometimes with, is sharing my story. Is people be like, oh my God, you had it so bad. You had it worse than me. I shouldn't feel this way. No, fuck that, dude. You should feel like shit too, because you've been through some shit. Just because the shit that I went through isn't the same shit you went through doesn't mean that we haven't all been through some shit. Hey, John, I tried natural. Yeah, natural stuff just, dude, the gym does help and all that. Their Miss Impulsive actually dropped. Miss Impulsive is my wife. If you guys ever wanted to see my wife, that's her. But if you guys do want to text, that is the number that you can text me at. It is for 18 and older. It is mentoring. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist, but I will sit with you in the fucking dark, and I will share with you at least what I've went through. I can offer suggestions. I can tell you what's worked for me. It is $4.99 for the day if you want to talk. I have to keep it that way because if I literally have thousands of messages, and I get hundreds of messages easily a day, and I can't respond to them all. I wish I could. I can't. And literally it beats me up too. It literally fucks my brain up too if I respond to too many of them. If you want one-on-one mentoring, I do that too through my website, Eric B. Zink. And again, I'm not a doctor or therapist. I would tell you this, that you, no matter what, got to get a therapist. You got to get a doctor. If you are struggling with addiction, you got to, if you don't want to go to rehab, if you don't want to try inpatient or outpatient, I mean, everyone's going to get sober even differently. And just even the way that I got sober isn't the same way that everyone else is going to get sober. We're all going to get sober way fucking differently. It comes down to is finding what works for you. And NA worked for me. AA worked for me. I, at a point, didn't want to do NA anymore. And I will still go to AA every now and then. I've had sponsors, and I have sponsored people. You got to find out why you're struggling with the harm. One of the biggest side effects with addiction that I'm going to start sharing more on is that addicts actually, when you are getting sober, a lot of times will start self-harming, believe it or not. And again, even when it comes to a lot of this, like I just share, and I found the more that we share, the more nuggets of help that we find, it makes a difference. Harry Straw's your real name. Thanks for the jokes. I've been drug free, but pause, as you call it, is real. Yeah. Pause is real. PAWS, post acute withdrawal symptoms. Or you can call it syndrome. I've heard it used both ways. But literally, what pause is something that a lot of people don't know or are aware of when they're getting sober. When you first get sober, you go through so much physical withdrawals. Like when I got sober off of alcohol, I had a lot of just vomiting, I had shakes, just a lot. But the mental side that hit way down the road was different. Why do they self-harm after sobriety? A lot of addicts, when you actually get sober, they struggle with it because you're literally beating yourself up and you don't know how to release these emotions that you used to have. So essentially, addiction for us was such a patch. Addiction fixed everything. And it's almost like we're trying to find other ways to patch or to feel something. And so what makes you feel something? Well, I used to burn the fuck out of my arm with a lighter. People will do things to feel because they're going insane in their head and they're just trying to come back to reality. And that's one of these, again, the struggles of addiction and the struggles of getting sober. And again, the validation of what it is that you struggle through. I tried not to take Adderall on the weekends. Sometimes I notice I can get away like 3 or 4 days without, I can get away like 3 days without taking Adderall. My magic number is like 3 days without Adderall. After 3 days without Adderall, I start to realize and notice that there's something not right in my brain and there's something not right with me. And now I start to really struggle, is one of my biggest challenges. But oh, Lord. I actually kind of like Instagram Live. It's actually kind of fun. Don't feel those 3 days you don't want to do anything. Yeah. No, I can get stuck to like my phone. I can see I don't do any kind of meaningful task whatsoever. I literally end up just becoming obsessed with my phone, trying to do stuff. I start to get depressed because I'm not being productive. I start to beat myself up more. So there's a lot of effects that I feel from getting off of that, like when I don't take my Adderall. Absolutely, Ben. I think it's important to share. I think it's important for people to share. I think it's important for people to be honest. I think it's important for us to share our stories. Again, it helps everybody. We're all going through shit in life. Some of us had good days. Some of us had bad days. Somebody committed suicide today. I mean, that's the reality of what's happened today. And so it really comes down to your story is your story, man. And the more that you're real and raw to it, you own it and you fight through with it, the more that it makes a difference. It's happened to you? Yeah, same. Uh, and I hate feeling yeah, the depression is the worst, man. It really is. You are not alone, Aubrey. That's the worst part is it definitely does. I have tried Vyvanse, James, and it just I didn't like it. And I don't know, maybe because of when I started using Adderall when I was prescribed it, I was like 17, 18. And so I was so used to 10 milligrams in the morning, 10 milligrams in the afternoon, and by about 5 o'clock, it was wearing off for me. And so all of a sudden, it was one of those that with like Vyvanse, it lasted almost like too long. Same when it came to Adderall XR. It lasted too long. And so I really struggled with trying to wind it down. So then all of a sudden it started jacking just with my sleep. Like it helped me, but it didn't help me as good as like Adderall did. Didn't work for you either? Yeah. I feel that. Uh, all right, I'm going to jump off of these lives. I've been live on YouTube and I've been live on Instagram. I was live on TikTok earlier. If you guys haven't clicked the link in the bio, my link tree in the bio has my links to the TikTok, to YouTube, to everything that I do. any kind of help that I can give, I do. I do a lot of videos just because I like to share, and hopefully they help somebody. Hopefully maybe it gives you a tool or a trick or something to get your brain thinking that, like, hey, maybe I should try this and I can fight through this way. The more vulnerable and open I found that we are, the more that it helps. I do share the most on YouTube when it comes to videos, and longer format videos. I should do these weekly. I probably will, for a little while, see how it goes. If it does start to fuck with my head, I stop everything, because I've had that happen before. But again, I do appreciate everybody who's followed me on all the different platforms and stuff. And I appreciate everybody who's just nice to other fucking human beings, because there's too many fucking assholes out there. So you want to make a difference in fucking mental health. You want to make a difference in suicide and depression and self-harm. Dude, just be kind to people online and in real life, because that's the fucking reality of it. So I'm going to jump off the Insta Live. I love you guys and appreciate you for joining me. And I appreciate you guys here on on YouTube. Uh, I appreciate you guys, and I'll probably go live again here sometime soon. I'm gonna go cook dinner now, though, for me, the wife, and the children. We're gonna go have some fun.